So 9.2, number 3, says graph the functions, analyze their characteristics. So if you have a graphing calculator, you can graph them pretty quickly and show that. But if you don't have a graphing calculator, like on a test, and you want to graph something, then not hard. You want to still, like for this one here, you still want to factor top and bottom. What is that? X minus 3, x plus 1 over x plus 3. Okay, so we don't have any common factors, so nothing is going to get canceled out. So that means to graph this one, you have at x equals -3, we have a vertical asymptote, right? Because upon simplification, this factor is still in the denominator, and at x equals -3, so that's a vertical asymptote. Now, this top, okay, so if this was 0, if I let y equal 0, I could find x-intercepts. So y is going to be 0. This whole thing is going to be 0 when the top is equal to 0. So consider that. So this is zero product principle. The top is 0 when one or both of these factors are 0. So x equals +3. Here's +3. That's an x-intercept. X equals -1. Here's -1. That's an x-intercept. Okay? Now, if you plot a few more points, you might have an idea of what's going on here. So if you go x, y now, see what else. What's going on at 0? 0 is not too hard to figure out. That's at x equals 0. That's -3 times 1. That's -3 over 3. So that's a -1. So 0, -1. Is that right? +3, -1. Yeah, so that's 3. This is -1. Okay. You have an asymptote here. So let's find out what's going on the other side of the asymptote. What about -4? So you can get your calculator going if you want, but -4, so that's -7 times -3 over -1. So that's going to be plus 21. Okay. So here's way up here 21. Okay. Not there, I guess, but way up here. So that's interesting. Okay, so it looks like maybe we've got something going on like this.
Did you say that was positive? It's supposed to be -10.
Oh, it is negative. Yeah, it is negative. Thank you. Yeah, that's negative. So -20 way down here. Yeah. So it looks like we might have something going on here like this. Okay. Now, this is a little worrisome. Like you have to do a few more points here, maybe to find out what's going on, because it could be something like this, right? Or it could be something even more complicated. But basically, if you kind of graph this, you see you have a vertical asymptote, you have some intercepts. So we can plot some more points to find out what's going on. The bottom line is when you graph this, okay, and you factor the top and the bottom, it's going to be x plus 3 times x minus 1 on top, and x plus 3 on the bottom. So these are going to cancel. So it's y equals x minus 1 with a gap at x equals -3, right? So it's going to be like this. It's going to be like, the graph's going to be like this. At -3, it's going to have a hole in it.
Wait, why?
Okay, why? Okay, because when you simplify a rational, you factor everything. If you can divide out a binomial or a factor from the bottom, whatever 0 is connected with that factor becomes now a gap discontinuity.
Oh.
Only when the factor is left in the simplified rational, like this x plus 3 up here, that's when you have a vertical asymptote.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. I didn't see the second equation.
So characteristics, I mean, the big thing is you have a gap at x equals -3, and you have a vertical asymptote at x equals -3 for this one. Okay? You can find intercepts and stuff like that too, but yeah, the gaps and the asymptotes are the big deal. Okay?
So essentially for these types of questions, the only way to solve them is to plot out points?
No. It's not asking you to solve here. It's just asking you to analyze characteristics.
Or to have to, like, graph the function.
You have algebraic methods to solve if you're asked to solve. So that would be your default. If you don't have a graphing calculator, you'd probably do those algebraic methods first. Yeah. But if you were required to do a graph and you didn't have a graphing calculator on a test, let's say, which you might not coming up, then yeah, table of values, get an idea. The vertical asymptote should be easy to spot. The x-intercept should be easy to make. You do a couple others, boom, you're done. Yeah. Okay?
Was it 9.1 that was like getting the x out of the career?
I think so. Yeah. Okay, does that answer your question? Who had this one? No. Does that answer your question? Oh no, this was Daniel's, yeah. Okay, good. Anything else from 9.2 while I'm there? Maybe not? All right.